Good morning, old school Texas Tech. Besides the football game, I hope everyone had a good weekend. That's a little bit of time here this morning to go ahead and film this recap, kind of my takeaways from not only just the game Saturday, but just the 0-2 start in general. I saw the Lubbock Avalanche Journal did 5 takeaways. I've actually seen some other people do it online, so I thought that was a good way to approach it. Jordan's busy with his real estate business this morning, so you guys are just stuck with me, unfortunately. Anyway, I'm going to kind of go through kind of where I think we are with the season. I know that a lot of you are probably going to disagree with me on some things, and that's fine. And please comment. Would love to hear from you. This is my first time to do this live. I'm really just kind of trying to figure it all out because I'm not the most technologically savvy. That would be an understatement. Yeah, maybe do some of these live throughout the season. Number one in my 5 takeaways. First of all, I was very, very upset Saturday night. It's as upset as I've been about a Tech loss in a very long time. Probably the one that we blew the COVID year against UT. That was an absolute disaster, and I was really upset at the end of that game, just because I thought the coaches blew it, and just we got some really bad luck too. I was very upset because this week was bothered me even more than week one because we had so many opportunities to put them away and to beat a ranked team at home, and I was really proud of the fact that our fans showed up. And I think that the support that we have with everyone right now is so high that we deserve that win, and the players deserved it too. Rewatched the second half this morning. Watched the McGuire press conference. I watched, as we say in the old school Texas Tech group, number 12, Tyler Shuck, and I watched Tony Bradford. So I'm going to kind of just give you a general idea of my 5 takeaways. Of course, there are bullet points on all of them. So anyway, first of all, I still believe in this team. I say a lot of things on that group during the live game chat. I will never apologize for being a completely irrational, crazy Texas Tech fan. I will always be that way. I say a lot of things that maybe that after some reflection, after a couple days or whatever, I kind of after I kind of cool off and study things a little bit more, my opinion changes a little bit. But I still believe in this team. And when I say believe in this team, what I mean is I believe that we can become bowl eligible and win a bowl game. I think right now we should be concentrated on just getting to 6. I do think 7-5 is very possible, and especially if we were to go on to win a bowl game, I think that would be a very positive thing for the program. I know that's not going to make everybody happy, but that would be 3 consecutive seasons of bowl eligibility. It's a lot better than we've done in a long time. It would also be 3 bowl wins in a row if that were to happen. And then we also have a chance at 2. I think we still have a very real chance at 2 winning regular seasons in a row, which would be a big deal. And that would now also mean 2 winning records in conference play 2 years in a row, which would also be a big deal. Yeah, if this team's going to be bowl eligible, we're going to have a winning record in conference play, even if we finish 6-6. Unless my math is, I'm pretty sure that's right. So. Another thing out of the way. Again, the officiating was terrible. It did cost us the game again. I think even worse than the first one. It was clearly an interception. I watched the replay. Coach McGuire said he could see how it was overturned. I can't see how it was overturned. It was clearly an interception, and it's very obvious to me that those Pac-12 officials know their conference is disintegrating. I don't know anything how that world works, but they're looking for jobs, and to me, they're looking for jobs probably in the Big Ten. They want to go with Oregon to the Big Ten or something. That was a terrible call. One of the other interceptions was an absolutely terrible call. Of course, the idiot announcers that are on TV. I'm so glad I listened to the radio guys because the TV guys were saying that Shuck was trying to throw it to Bradford, and he was trying to throw it to Brown, the other receiver, and that was clearly pass interference. So that shouldn't have even have been an interception. So I thought the officiating was terrible. The officiating was terrible last week in Laramie. Um, I think it mattered more in this game than it did in the first one, but we still should have won the game even with the bad officiating. But anyway, let's just get that out of the way. I still believe in Joey McGuire 100%. I've seen some stuff online. I think it's the minority that's that are upset with him. I have no problems with analytics. I believe analytics won us 8 games last year. I have more problem with the play calling on that fourth down that's so controversial that we went for. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. There are some little things. I mean, Joey McGuire is the head of the program. I think he's only coached 15 games now, right? Yeah, so he's 8-7. Obviously, these last 2 losses have been unfortunate. We should both of these games we should have won. So I mean, I'm disappointed, but I still think that he's the right guy. I really do. There's some little things that are really bothering me, like how in the world did the coaching staff not know? I mentioned this last week. How in the world did the coaching staff not know that Gino Garcia was in a wine tasting class right before practice? Um, that's pretty bad. So I feel like maybe one hand's not always talking to the other. The other thing that really bothered me, and I don't know if it bothered anybody else, but I was listening. Like I said I listened to the radio guys Brian Jensen and Harris, and before the game they were interviewing some of the players. Players are like talking about how they're excited to see what kind of uniforms Oregon's wearing before the game. I mean, that's ridiculous. They're our competitor. You're not. Who cares what color uniforms they're wearing? They were talking about how they love to, dress them up in certain uniforms on NC whatever the video game is when they were kids. Some of that stuff is ridiculous. He needs to cut some of that stuff out. And it's I'm sure it's more staff, but at the end of the day, he's the head of the program. But again, I'm behind him 100%. I still think he was a great hire. I think we're just this is just the tip of the iceberg. We're talking about second season. He's got some great recruits coming in. We've got some great young players as well. This is the one where I'm probably going to get the most criticism, and that's fine. I still believe in number 12. I actually do. That Hail Mary at the end was, that's going to happen. That's part of football. So that was one of his turnovers. The second one of his turnovers was pass interference, clearly. I thought he played really, really hard the whole game. I still think that he's the guy, and I think unless we'll talk about it more in a second, but unless something happens really bad in these next 3 games, I still think he's the guy. The other thing is the 10 years that we had Mike Leach as the head coach. I know everyone gets tired of talking about that, but that's the last really successful head coach that we've had. Um, Quarterbacks did not learn on the playing field. They learned on the practice field. And I understand Baird Morton is a fantastic player, and I think he will be a fantastic player. I don't think he's going to transfer. If you read his background, he played locally, or he grew up locally in Lubbock. Texas Tech's always been where he's wanted to play. Whether we have him for 1 year or 2 years before, I think he'll play. I think both these guys will play professional football. I think Shucks made some mistakes, but I actually blame a lot of that on Kitley, and that's where I'm going to get to with my point number 4. I think Kitley right now, his play calling is absolutely horrendous. I still like him. I still think that he's a bright young coach, and he's not the first bright young coach who's had who has had problems calling plays and had to be, reassigned or something like that. I hope that doesn't have to happen. But our next 2 opponents are Tarleton State if I looked at the schedule right, or Tarleton State at home Saturday. Obviously, that's a game we should win easily. If we don't win that one easily, we've got major problems. And really, the next three we should win with ease. Then we go on the road at West Virginia, one of the few Big 12 teams we've had consistent success with for a long time, and they're kind of in trouble. Neil Brown's in trouble up there. I know they beat it. They beat a school that I had not even heard of Saturday, and then I know they lost the opener to Penn State. But I don't think they're a very good football team, and I think Texas Tech should clearly beat West Virginia on the road, and then we should come back and clearly beat Houston at home, who struggle with Rice on Saturday. So, to me, Kinley's got to get this offense together. I'm not implying that he should lose his job. I don't think that should happen. I don't think there's any chance that will happen. But I do think that he should be on the hot seat for the ability to call plays. Taj Brooks averaged 11 yards a carry. He got the ball 6 times yesterday. He has run the ball. He ran the ball well against Wyoming too, and he didn't get the ball very much in that game either. I don't understand it. I don't mind running a variation of the air raid, but when you've got a running back with that kind of talent in a pretty good offensive line, I think an offensive line that has taken a lot, it's taking them too long to find chemistry, and I think that we may need to dig a little bit and go into the bench and pull some of these other guys and give them a chance. I hope against Charlton State we give some of these other offensive linemen a chance to play, because I think we can be even a better unit than we are. The pass protection, there's definitely been some problems, but they block well in the running game, in my opinion, a lot, and that we're not giving the running game enough of a chance. So I'm not thrilled with Kittley. That fourth down play, that was called due to analytics on Saturday was just very predictable. It was a horrible play call. And so I think Kittley should be getting a lot more criticism than he is. I mean, I should also mention, I actually meant to mention this a little bit earlier. I think our defense is actually playing pretty good, considering the amount of injuries that we have. We've given up too many points. There's been some really disappointing moments where we've given up too many big plays and that kind of thing. But I think our defense is everything relative with the injuries that we've had. I think they've played pretty good, and I don't think they're not the main reason we're 0-2. To me, it's the offense. Number 5, I know he made that kick at the end, but we still have kicker problems. His demeanor, he was smiling after he missed that first kick. It's just there's something off there, and I'm pulling for him. I hope he can turn it around, but he's done very bad. He's done very poorly anything outside of 40 yards, and so I think we still have kicker problems. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a lot of confidence in him at all going forward. So I don't know what their plan is, or if he's capable of improving midseason. But I don't have a lot of confidence if some of these Big 12 games come down to a field goal. Um, Something's still off there in my opinion. Anyway, we'll have Jordan back Thursday, and we'll preview the Tarleton State game. Appreciate your patience, as this is my first live video I've ever done. It's kind of interesting, and I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys on the thread and on Thursday.